James Holder, iFall TV, in association with MTK Global. Quite fortunate enough to be joined by former WBA World Champion, undisputed cruiserweight king, and now promoter, Mr. David HAYE. I've got to say, looking very well, sir.
I'm feeling very well. Thanks for asking. You're looking good yourself. Got a bit of Stone Island on there.
Thank you very much.
Stepping it up like that.
Thank you. You look like you've got a bit of a time machine. Remnants of the David HAYE from 2008. Very slim face, very slim.
I know. I've been looking after myself. I've been eating very, very well. I've been consistently training. You know, I always tick over between fights. But I've focused a little bit more on doing a lot more boxing training. So I've been obviously got a new coach, Ismail Salas, and his whole ethos is just daily work, daily repetition, daily work. So I've just been probably doing more punching than I've done in the last, obviously since my snapped Achilles, since my operation. I've probably done more punching than I've done in, I don't know, years.
No, it's the lights I've seen you've been in years. Has that got anything to do with the Achilles? The fact that
I haven't done anything different in terms of nutrition wise. I've just been doing more, just training more, but not at a high intensity. I'm doing a lot more training at a sort of a moderate intensity, more technical stuff. So I've been doing that a lot more, and yeah, I feel good. Yeah, maybe I don't eat as much as well. I'm not eating all the time. I used to schedule my meal on my phone. I used to have an alarm saying eat now, eat now, eat now.
I've seen you stop an interview to eat chicken at the precise
I know.
time.
Yeah, but I don't do that anymore. I only eat when I want to eat, when I'm hungry. And I'm getting hungry less and less. So eat when you want to eat, more like an animal. If I lived in the wild, I wouldn't be eating every 3 hours. I'd eat when I'm hungry, and then eat, and then carry on. So I'm kind of living a little bit more natural.
Indeed.
And let nature take its course, and this is my natural physique.
Indeed. I want to talk a little bit about your new charge, Joe Joyce. I mean, to put him in with someone like Ian Lewis on a professional debut is a very brave move, or maybe very thoughtful move, depending on how your thought process is. Talk to me a little bit how you came about this decision.
Well, we needed somebody. We realised Joe Joyce does his best work after he gets warmed up. You know, so from round 3, 4, 5 is when he really starts. When the wheels really start going, and we have to have a real big warm up in the change room beforehand. You know, I think one of his only sort of losses in the amateurs was when he was rushed to the ring. He believed he was fighting in, say, an hour, and they said, okay, 10 minutes, you got to get in the ring, and he didn't get his chance to warm up. That was one of his losses in the amateurs. So we got to make sure he has an ample warm up. You know, a warm up which most people probably will get now. Most heavyweights will be freaking exhausted from doing the warm up he does. Because as I said, that's why it's called the juggernaut, because he's just like an immovable object. Once he starts going, that's it. And I saw Ian Lewis saying he's going to chin him before he gets going. But to do that, he's going to have to undo all the great work that Ismail Salas has been doing defensive-wise with Joe Joyce, because his defence now there's one thing he didn't really have. He just had, as an amateur, he had natural ability in terms of, he had the size, he had the long arms, he had a great engine, tenacity, solid chin, and that was enough for him to achieve basically Olympic gold medal. Now, he didn't officially get it, but just watch that final. Go on YouTube and watch the final.
We've all seen the final.
We've all seen it. So without having an Ismail Salas, someone who's trained 19 world champions, someone who trained Felix Savon from his very first jab behind him, and he's been working with him, the same thing he's been doing with me. So he does 2 hours in the morning with me, 2 hours with Joe. So now Joe's got that Cuban style. He's playing all this Latino music, and we're salsa, we're dancing, we're moving. It's really started to flow in him, and it's really starting to show. And that's why we've got the confidence. You know, Ismail Salas watched Ian Lewis's fights. He understands his dangers. He understands what he does well. He understands that Ian hasn't had ample time in previous fights to get in good condition. And the better condition Ian Lewis is for this fight, the better the fight will be, and the more Joe will shine. You know, we don't want someone to go over there and fall over in one shot, because you won't get to see what Joe can do. You know, and hopefully that's why we've given Ian Lewis an 11 weeks notice.
With the high pedigree Joe Joyce has got, and the experience Ian Lewis has, Joe Joyce will be 32, as you mentioned, come the 20th of October. Yeah. Is that a reason for you guys wanting to even
if he was 26 years old, seeing what I've seen in the gym, knowing his style, the same fight will be happening. I don't feel forced to rush him. It just makes sense. You know, we don't need to. Maybe we could have if he was super young, like for instance Joshua probably didn't need to fight the first 5 guys that he fought, but he fought them anyway just to get him used to it. But this guy's had a lot of WSP fights, which are like semi-pro fights where with the smaller gloves, no head guard, 5 rounds against Olympic level fighters. So he's in there with some of the best fighters in the world, and he's done that on a regular basis and had a great record in that. So I believe he doesn't need where another fighter has a bunch of 6, 8 rounders against nobodies. That doesn't equate to 15 WSP fights, in my opinion. I believe that he if you see him in the sparring, you'd think he's a 30-fight unbeaten prospect. The fact is, tomorrow he's going to Las Vegas to spar with Bermain Stavern shows that he's a world-class fighter. And he sparred Joshua, Hughie Fury.
How did he handle himself with those spars?
Ask them, Harry. Ask them, Hayed.
You're confident?
I'm very confident. I put him with anybody in the world, and he will more than handle himself. And I believe, and in doing that, as the rounds go on, he gets better. And it's not something you normally get in heavyweight division. Normally you get some starting fast and gradually get slower. This guy really starts building momentum.
Last time we spoke, you backed Floyd Mayweather to impeccably take care of Conor McGregor, no questions asked. Was the result and the fight as you expected it?
No, the result was different than I expected. I thought Floyd Mayweather would put it on him like he did in round 9 and 10. He'd have done it in the first round, but that's where you have to recognise Floyd Mayweather's greatness. Because what fighter in such a big fight, probably one of the biggest combat events in history, could give someone the first 3 rounds? How many people would be confident enough in their ability that after giving the first 3 rounds that no matter what, this guy is not going to be able to hit the final? I saw something online where he tried to bet $400,000 on himself, knocking him out in the 10th round or stopping him in the 10th round, and that shows an ultimate confidence. But he was fighting someone who never had a boxing match. But credit to Conor McGregor, he landed more shots. Saw that stat, landed more shots than Manny Pacquiao did. So whether that was because Mayweather was walking him down with his hands up or not, regardless, numbers are numbers, stats are stats, and he did a great job for having one fight to fight when the greatest ever gets stopped in the 10th round. There's no disrespect there. There's no fault on his behalf. He deserved every penny he got from that fight. He broke box office records, ticket sales records, 80 million gate. It's insane numbers. But only 2 megastars like that come together can do that type of thing.
Now, you caused a lot of controversy with a picture on the internet of you with Hughie Fury at your gym. We saw some tweets further from that from Tyson Fury on that situation. We also got Hughie Fury taking on WBO world champion Joseph Parker. Big fight. Can I get a comment on you on that sort of whole saga?
I think Hughie Fury was at my gym sparring with Joe Joyce. I was on a beach somewhere, and they've got Joseph Parker's coming in. I think Joseph's going to be probably using my gym next week. Both great guys, both young, hungry, and it's a WBO titles on the line. And Joseph Parker hasn't put a foot wrong yet as a professional. Neither has Hughie Fury, and I think this is going to be a great fight. I'm not sure what channel is it on?
It's on YouTube pay-per-view. It's £10 to buy the main event. So according to Hennessy's Twitter yesterday, with the undercard being shown free, I think.
Okay, cool.
What do you think on that as an idea?
Everyone's got access to YouTube. I'm not sure how the payment process works, but it's worth it for a heavyweight championship of the world. Two young fighters. I think it'll be a great fight. I really do.
Can you pick a winner?
I think it'll be close. Although Joseph Parker is the champion, he's coming to foreign territory. So if it goes to points, maybe he might not get that much love with the judges. It shouldn't work that way, but he's coming over here to fight on a foreign promoter's event. So if it goes, I'm not sure if there's going to be a knockout in the fight. Neither of the fighters have shown that they have weak chins. They've both shown they can go the distance. They're both young and fresh. I know Hughie Fury is in great shape. I've been looking at Joseph Parker's Instagram. He's been training super hard. I just think it's a great fight. I think it's a good fight, and I think it's genuinely a 50-50 fight. And whoever wins that fight is the WBO champion. Whether Parker can retain that title, and you'll probably look for a unification against Anthony Joshua. That's the big one. And likewise with Hughie Fury. If Hughie Fury is to win that title, having 2 world champions in one family. You know, it's an amazing feat for the Fury family. So whoever wins that fight, I believe there's going to be some big fights next year with unification fights, whether that's Deontay Wilder unifying the WBC against the WO. I'm not sure, but it's good for boxing having young guys like that. You know, young, hungry guys, undefeated guys, you know, clashing with each other. I think it's great, and make sure you tune in on YouTube.
Also, we've got Anthony Joshua taking on PULEV in Wales. That's been announced. What chances do you give PULEV of derailing Anthony Joshua?
I don't believe he's got that much chance, to be honest. He's a solid European level fighter. Awkward guy, long arms, similar sort of dimensions, maybe a little shorter than Joshua. But you saw what happened when Klitschko landed a hook on PULEV. He went to sleep, completely knocked out. You know, and we saw what Joshua did to Vladimir Klitschko. You know, he done a number on him. So going on momentum, going on previous record, going on the fact that PULEV had a tough 12-round fight. It was a 10 or 12-round fight with Chisora. You know, he didn't look that great in that fight. You know, how would Chisora get on with someone like Anthony Joshua? You know, would he hear the final bell? I don't know. We don't know. So I definitely think that Joshua's going to win that fight and win it spectacularly. Really do a number on PULEV, and I think it's just kind of he deserves a fight like this, to be honest. You know, after the fight with Klitschko, he had to really go soul searching. He had to really. That's the first time in his career, really, other than the little left hook that he took from Dylan White. Other than that, this was the first time where he was hurt, genuinely hurt. He was buzzed. He had to go down. He got up. That was his first real acid test. If there was any quit, if there was any break, if there was any sort of coward in him, that it would have shown itself that night, and it didn't. You know, he proved to the world that, you know, there's a reason why he's sort of #1 in the world, because he took his licks like a man. He came back and won the fight by stoppage. And I don't think PULEV on his best day can beat Joshua on his worst day.
Would you like the rematch with Tony Bellew to get redemption for what happened in the original fight? Has it crossed your mind?
Of course it's crossed my mind. It's crossed my mind, obviously, after I lost to Carl Thompson, after I lost to Vladimir Klitschko. So, you know, losing a boxing match is painful. Losing anything, losing a table tennis match to someone, it hurts. So yeah, obviously, whether it happened or not, you know, remains to be seen. If it's supposed to happen, it will happen. If it's not, it's not. You know, my first two losses, it wasn't meant to be, and I'm standing here today. I'm fine. I don't lose any sleep about it. You just realise certain things aren't destined to be, and if they're not, they're not. If they are, they are. If it is, great for everyone. If it's not, oh well. We all move on.
Quite finally, we've got the biggest fight in the middleweight division since Hagler-Hearns coming up in GGG versus Canelo Alvarez in Vegas. Exciting times. Are you going to be out for it?
I don't think so. I think if I was supposed to be, I'll leave things last minute. I think I got something on that day.
What about the Tropicana? The drinks are free. You're not going to get involved.
I might get involved then if that's the case. But no, I think it's a great fight. I think both two sort of future Hall of Famers. As you said, yeah, sort of Hagler-Hearns sort of situation. You know, two middleweights, but real resumes on both guys. You know, the only sort of real blemish is on Canelo's career is losing a points decision against Floyd Mayweather.
Is that a blemish?
When he was 21 or 20, you can't. Who cares? You know, really big deal. You know, but since that point, he's put a real good body of work together, and I believe his body of work's better than Triple G's. I think he's fought better opposition and had better results against better opposition. He's fought more regular, and when it was first announced, I sided towards Triple G when it was first talked about. But after watching the Kell Brook fight, after watching the Jacobs fight, I was like, nah. Before the Jacobs fight, I was expecting him to go out there and blast Jacobs out. Jacobs is a great fighter himself. Very good fighter. Very underrated fighter. And nobody's going to be queuing up to fight this guy, believe me. And I thought Jacobs won it pretty handily, to be honest, by a couple of rounds. You know, if it wasn't for that knockdown, I think that would have changed things. But it is what it is. I'm glad that it happens because we get this big fight now. I think a a Canelo Alvarez Triple G fight is as big as it gets in boxing between two boxers. Maybe between a boxer and an MMA fighter, maybe not, but between two boxers, it's as big as a boxing match and a boxing event.
If you had to pick one,
if I had to pick one, I'd say Canelo Alvarez on points.
Wow.
It's a close decision, maybe controversial, but I just can't see Canelo losing. I would have said that before the Jacobs fight. I can't see Triple G losing, but then I had him losing the fight on my score. I'm not a judge, but on my score because he lost that fight. So I can't. I've seen him lose now. I haven't seen since the Mayweather fight. I haven't seen Canelo. He had a close fight against the Cuban. What's his name? Lara. Is it Lara? He had a close fight there, but Triple G doesn't fight like Lara. Very, very different fighters. People who come at Canelo highlight his attributes, which is just pure skill, defensive, counter-punching.
So people are sleeping on his power?
They are. He's a dangerous puncher. He's a very, very dangerous puncher. He breaks you down, he gets you. I think his advantage is the fact he doesn't rely on that punch, so he's winning rounds, winning points. Canelo doesn't seem too bothered about winning rounds. He just believes he's going to knock you out. So while he's thinking about knocking him out, Canelo's going to be winning the rounds. So I think Canelo, if Golovkin's going to win it, if Triple G is going to win it, he'll win it by late stoppage, or I'd say Canelo on points.
We wish you the best of luck for October the 20th.
October the 20th. Indigo O2 Arena.
Indigo O2 Arena.
Live on Dave for free.
Live on Dave for free.
Live on Dave for free.
In conjunction with Ringstar as well.
Yes.
Thank you very much
Ringstar.
for your time, sir.
My pleasure.
See you soon.